Trials is back!
After 5 weeks of delays.
And it's kinda...
It's awful. Don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, there is a fair few amount of problems with Trials at the moment. There's 4 in particular that I think really need to be addressed if Trials is ever going to regain its former glory. Going forward, I think Bungie needs to focus on these 4 things, and those 4 things being their anti-cheat measures, the approachability of Trials, the loot, and more specifically the Adept Weapons. These 4 things, in my opinion, are the key to making Trials successful again. And here's how I think we could change them. First off, I want to be fair to Bungie. This is a much more complicated issue than people are making it out to be. Since the switch from Battle.net to Steam, we have seen more cheaters, but we are also now playing on the world's largest PC storefront. More people playing the game also equals more cheaters. And Trials is a less populated playlist, thus making the cheater to legit player ratio feel far bigger than it might actually be. We don't know. People also keep suggesting that the easiest solution to this is to just have their anti-cheat auto-detect the auto-respawn cheat or the unlimited ammo cheat, but it's not. If Valve, the owners and creators of Steam, can't write a script to auto-detect spin botters...
There are still spin bots, you just haven't written the right coding to be like, yo, this boy is spinning like a damn Beyblade. How is he still hitting any shots? It's not possible.
What do you think the reasonable chances are Bungie's able to do that? However, Bungie, if you ever do end up making a script that can do those things, please send that over to Valve immediately. Please, for the love of God. Now, all that being said, what is not defendable is the absolute poor excuse that is the SMS verification. Oh my God, is it bad? Not only can you hook up 5 accounts to a single phone number, it's also only for recent accounts, and you don't even have to bother with it if you just spend $10 buying the season. How did this get through?
Hey, buddy, calm down.
You're right, okay. Whew. Here's what I think needs to happen. First, there is only 1 account per number. I know families will hook up multiple accounts to a single number, however, I feel the anti-cheat needs to be a lot more firm than it is right now. Plus, this should only be applying to Trials anyways. Regular Crucible and even the Raid will still be accessible if you don't do this. Second, this has to apply to everyone who wants to play Trials. That includes you, me, new, old, free-to-play, and paid. It doesn't matter. Cheaters will cheat no matter what. It doesn't matter how much money they've spent. If someone wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat. And third, new accounts are locked out of Trials for a week to, let's say, 3 weeks. And that's Steam accounts, not like a Bungie.net account. I know there's some people that will play like 1,000 hours of Counter-Strike and go, hey, maybe I should pick up Destiny. I don't want people who legitimately want to play Destiny to be punished because of some cheaters.
Why not also stop people with VAC bans from being able to play?
Good question. VAC bans aren't as simple as you think.
What? Someone cheats, they get VAC banned. That's it. End of story.
Well, not exactly. I know there's cases of people getting VAC banned simply for playing a custom map in Zombies. If you mod a game, no matter how big or small the mod is, if that game has an online component, you run the risk of it getting VAC banned. Even if it's as simple as getting the pistol from Doom Eternal. You've modified files in an online game and VAC might pick that up. So VAC bans really aren't as clear-cut as you'd think. As an aside, some kind of anti-cheat measure may need to be applied to the Nightfall Grandmaster as well, since it's getting Adept Weapons soon. Yes, I know it's the PvE side, however, those things can be used in PvP and it can also still ruin someone's experience. Recov accounts are going to have a field day when it comes to this, so in order to start mitigating cheating more and more, we gotta stop cheating at all fronts.
I thought you said this was about approachability?
I did say that. And I believe this is the biggest wall for most players who want to play Trials. A lot of people are solo players, myself included. And a lack of a matchmaking system is really off-putting to people. I guarantee you that Survival and Iron Banner have far more people playing in it than Trials does, simply due to the fact that they have matchmaking. Right now, in order to play Trials, you gotta Alt-Tab, or if you're on console, you gotta load up your computer, load up Bungie.net, log in for the 500th time because keeping me logged into this account is just too hard. Go to Find Fire Team and help you find a fire team where the people in it don't scream every time they die.
Hey, I don't do that.
I never said that was you.
Oh.
Did you just call yourself out? Anyways, there's so many steps. I mean, I guess you could just use the app.
Don't even joke about that.
The mode needs matchmaking of some sort to allow solo players to at least get to play the mode. So, just like Survival and Iron Banner, there's going to be a new icon for solo players only. Yes, if you are in a 2-stack, you still have to go to the LFG. This is for 2 reasons in particular. One is to try and cut down on toxicity as much as possible. I know you can't eliminate it completely, okay, I'm not an idiot, but this should help mitigate at least some of it. And 2, solos aren't going to use their mics. I mean, they might, but
Let's be honest, when's the last time you saw someone use voice chat in Destiny 2, huh?
that shit's rarer than getting a good roll in Royal Chase. And that would be very frustrating for a 2-stack that's trying to communicate with the solo, but the solo's not communicating back, or the reverse, where the solo's trying to communicate with the 2-stack, but this 2-stack is stuck in a Discord call, which might lead to one side just becoming toxic for the match, which would then just lead us right back to the first point. One additional change I'd like to make to Trials overall, which does benefit non-solo players, but is mainly for solo players, is that you can go to the lighthouse as long as someone in your party has a flawless ticket. This does not mean you get to access the flawless chest if you don't have a flawless ticket. I repeat, you cannot access the flawless chest, but you can visit the location. The big reason for this is to account for players who sometimes drop out. Like, let's say you, Steve, and Carl.
Yeah?
Not you, different Carl. All playing, get to 6 wins, but then all of a sudden Carl's internet goes out and he can no longer play. Well, now you gotta pick up someone else, and you get someone who only has 3 wins. So the solution is either reset your card or just finish out your cards and then kick them and go to the lighthouse? With the change, you could just finish out your cards, go to the lighthouse with 4-win Gary, claim your stuff, and then continue to play with Gary. Gary doesn't get to access the chest, but he does get to see the location, which might also drive him to want to go back again. It would just be frustrating in a solo queue environment where anyone with any amount of wins on their ticket can get matched together, and then when someone gets 7 wins, you can't go to the lighthouse because you have to worry about the other people in your party, or you just drop out, and it's just aggravating. And yes, you could just keep people with the same wins and same losses matched together in a queue, but that just ramps up queue times and it makes it even more frustrating for a solo player who's just trying to play some trials games, but they have to wait 10 minutes so their cards can match. So just let people go to the lighthouse. I know it's this big thing in the Destiny community, but does it really have to be?
I have to agree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the lighthouse is really cool for the first time you get there, but after that, it's kinda boring. It really only becomes a location to open the chest and then immediately leave for your next card. People put too much importance on the location when it's really just about the loot you get there.
Wow, that was really well said.
Thank you.
Also, in addition to making matchmaking a thing in Trials, it needs to be a thing in the Grandmaster Nightfall. If people want to matchmake those activities, just let them. LFG will still be there for them when they get out. This is huge, and has been pretty much the main frustration for every single player who's been playing Trials. Look, the mode's just not rewarding. Even by Destiny 1 standards, it's not. There just needs to be a whole lot done. Step 1 is we gotta talk about these weekly bounties. 10 tokens in the 3-win reward, that ain't gonna fly. Immediate change, we just go back to what we did in Destiny 1. Now both bounties offer you gear. The first one gives you a random weapon and the second one gives you a random armor piece. Additional change, these are also gonna be on a knockout list. So once you get a piece of gear, the bounty won't give you that piece of gear until you've acquired everything first. And additionally, Trials is going to adopt the raid final chest mechanic from the new Deepstone Crypt raid. Both Saint and the Flawless Chest will have variations on this. Saint will offer you things for purchase as long as you've already earned them. Adept Weapons can only be acquired from the Flawless Chest. That includes reacquires. You have to have gone Flawless to earn the Adept Weapons, and to buy the ones you've already acquired. You will be able to purchase these with either Trials tokens or a new currency, Trials marks. It will cost less marks to buy something, however, you can only earn these once per character, once per week. So that's a total of 3 per week. You earn these once you've completed a Trials card. Yes, completed. Not gone Flawless, not even getting a win, just completing.
Wouldn't this just end up with people throwing matches just to get these quickly?
Yes, maybe, but this also encourages people to complete their card even if they're not going to go Flawless on it. Yes, some people might throw matches, but I feel that's a small number compared to the people that are just going to play the game normally. Plus, they won't really be earning gear, so the marks they get would basically be useless. They still have to play the game in order to unlock the gear so they can use the marks, so it's just, you might as well just play. Additionally, marks don't disappear like Trials tokens do every reset. I don't think that's how Trials tokens should work in the first place, but if Bungie's gonna keep it that way, they gotta offer something that's not gonna disappear every week. So if you're trying to get a god roll of a weapon, you can just save up these marks and you don't have to worry about grinding out Trials every day, every weekend to get enough tokens to spend for that weekend because you're not gonna have them come Tuesday. How many marks will it take to buy something? I don't know, maybe like 3 for non-adept gear and 5 for adept gear. I don't have the numbers on Trials to make a balanced price call. It's just a placeholder amount, and I'm not married to it, okay? Also, just like the last 2 points, the Nightfalls need to adopt the final raid chest mechanic as well.
All vendors should.
Yes, but this video isn't about all vendors now, is it, smart guy? I'll level with you here. Most of the things you're gonna hear, you've already heard. So I'll just leave with the one original thing. Trials marks, in addition to being able to buy gear from Sane and the final chest, will be used at the final chest to convert a regular weapon into an adept version of it. And here's why. Truth of the matter is, adept weapons are virtually unchanged. Even with the proposed changes that are going to come later, they are still basically the same thing as their regular counterparts. No new perks, no new stats, they are the same guns. Now, being able to do this is good for both new and returning players to the Lighthouse, or veteran players who just go flawless every card. All this is going to do for them is shave off some time getting their god roll. They'll get it eventually anyways, this just saves them some time. It's already frustrating enough getting a god roll on a regular weapon with the masterwork you want. You know how frustrating that must be to do that all again on the adept weapon, which is not tied to just getting it? You gotta get a very specific circumstance of 7 wins in a row to each. Oh my god. Excuse my French, but fuck that.
Wouldn't this just defeat the purpose of the previous system?
Kinda, not really. While yes, you can save up the marks, it will be a lot to convert the gun. Also, you can just use Trials tokens to reacquire stuff, so it's not like it really matters. I mean, you gotta also be fun and gamble your marks away and try to get the god roll at a lower cost instead. And the system isn't just for Trials gods, like I said, this is for non-gods alike. Look, imagine. You play Trials every weekend. You grind and you grind, but you just can't get to the Lighthouse. Week after week, you save up those marks, and then one day, you do it. You've gone flawless with your god-rolled Astral Horizon. You deserve to make that gun an adept. You earned it. Not only does it feel good to finally have an adept weapon, but the feeling of it being the weapon you used to get to the Lighthouse would be amazing. The sentimental value of that weapon would be huge. People would start to have stories about their weapons again. And honestly, I miss that.
That's really touching, Andal.
Now onto the boring shit. Like I said in the beginning, you've heard all this stuff before. Adept weapons should have their own adept mod slot, and Solarity should be intrinsic. Everyone said it. You've heard it from Aztecross, you've heard it from Cami Cakes, you've heard it from Reddit, hell, you probably even heard it from my own comments section. Every single person seems to agree on this, which is super surprising for the Destiny community. Bungie, you should take that as a sign that this is a good idea. Look, I'm not gonna disagree. These people are right. Adept weapons right now are dumb and bad. This at least makes them more desirable. Now, I will say, I understand why Bungie did what they did with these weapons in the first place. They don't want people stacking the mods. I agree, it would be insane if Targeting Adjuster and Adept Targeting Adjuster were allowed to stack. Maybe not here on PC, but on console, holy hell. You could be aiming at Tanzania and still dome the dude. So the simple fix is just to do what you've already done with other mods. Make it so they can't stack. Done. Easy fix. And aside from making them more desirable, the other reason they should have a dedicated Adept mod slot is because of Icarus. Icarus right now is a must-use perk in PvP. It's not even a question. No one's using the Adept mods because that means removing Icarus, and people ain't gonna do that. And just like the last 3 points, seriously, if you haven't noticed the pattern here, I don't know what to tell you. The Nightfall should also adopt these systems for a number of reasons. One being...
May I?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
One reason being that, like Icarus is an essential mod for PvP, mods like Surrounded Spec, Rampage Spec, Dragonfly Spec, Minor Spec, Major Spec, and Boss Spec, and more, are essential for PvE. Yes, Bungie can make adept versions of these in the future, but would that be as fun or interesting as being able to run 2 mods? Imagine you have a gun with Dragonfly and Rampage. Wouldn't it be awesome to just be able to run the adept version of one of those mods and the regular version of the other? And you get the benefit of both? I think so. Plus, they are adept weapons. They should be powerful. They should feel like they were worth the journey to get them. And, as an aside, celerity being intrinsic on both Nightfall's and Trials weapons is good, since it can activate in both modes. It's just the perfect perk to be intrinsic on these weapons. Did I do a good job?
Wow, that was incredibly articulate. You must really care about Trials.
Then the more people that play the playlist means the more noobs I get to crush.
There he is. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed or at least found this interesting. Trials needs help right now, that much is clear. And I think the things that I've mentioned can help it tremendously. But I understand that's a lot for Bungie. So if you were to focus on 2 things, I would say the 2 things that need to be fixed are the adept weapon changes and make it so the 2 weekly bounties offer a random weapon and a random piece of armor. And there you go. If you enjoyed or agreed with anything I said, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay cool. I wish I could just wish things into existence, you know?
I have this magic hand if you want to use that.
Does it work?
Yeah, how do you think I got so good? I mean, this cool hat.
Well, let's give it a try. I wish Trials was more rewarding and adept weapons were better. Whoa. Well, I hope that doesn't have any adverse side effects.